when you strip away all the discussion and argument and everything else, the bottom line is we've got to stop burning stuff.
The benefits are that when the wind is blowing, you're burning less fossil fuels. Absolutely, that's what happens. Our energy generation system is providing the exact amount of electricity that's needed at any point, and most of that energy is currently generated from fossil fuels and nuclear power. That's what it is in New England. And whenever the wind is blowing and wind power is being generated, it's going into the mix and it's replacing fossil fuels, generally natural gas. So the benefit is that we're getting less emissions, less carbon pollution, and reducing our dependence on fossil fuels, and that's all good for the environment.
The fossil fuels that we depend on here in Maine particularly, but around the country, particularly coal and oil, have enormous effects on habitat and wildlife and public health. Maine has one of the highest asthma rates in the country. We have high mercury rates in our fish as a consequence of coal-fired plants, some of which are right near our border.
And when we look at those threats, we look at air quality as being a significant, serious threat. In fact, one that's more dangerous now than we thought it was 15 or 20 years ago. And so the Lung Association realizes that the major threat, when you get down to the root cause of it, is how we produce our energy and how our transportation system works. And it's being fueled by fossil fuels is fundamentally, inherently unhealthy in terms of lung health.
We live in a culture where we expect to flip a switch on the wall and the power's there. We don't worry about where it came from. So when a wind project looks like it's going to be built in your community, all of a sudden you have to start thinking about that. But you have to remember you've got to compare that against the destruction of mountaintops in West Virginia. You've got to compare that to the things that have happened in the Gulf this year.
The impact in terms of impact on the ground of a wind project is amazingly small. The pad that the wind turbine sits on is a piece of concrete 24 feet around, 24 feet in diameter, and 5 feet deep. That's it. That is about the size of the cellar hole of a hunting cabin.
We have really difficult choices to make sometimes. If we want to keep the lights on, and if we want to drive our cars, and all the other things that we need for energy. And part of that is we need to reduce our demand for energy. We need to be smarter about how we use our energy. And we also need to rely on energy that doesn't have as big of a negative footprint on our planet and on our state. And moving to wind is one step that we can take in that direction.
Maine Audubon is particularly concerned about the current climate challenge, the consequences of climate change, even the moderate estimates of the effects it'll have on our habitat and on our society as a whole globally is very, very significant.
How we've created energy in the past has created a huge problem for us, climate change. But we're also at a point where there's incredible opportunity to change our energy picture.
My generation, many of us envisioned one day we would have alternative energy, both solar and wind, and it's a reality today. I think it's to be celebrated. The ingenuity, the American ingenuity, and the investment that's being made is something we dreamed about.
It's a sign of our independence. It's a sign, quite frankly, that we care about our legacy. We care about our kids, we care about our kids' kids, because we can't continue to do nothing.
We've got hydropower, we've got our forests, and we've got this river of energy that's flowing across this state every day and every night. And if we don't take advantage of it, our children are going to say, shame on you.